Hello and welcome to the next video on Riskier's TrueCode Analysis tool. In this video, we will show you how to configure TrueCode, how to use it as a collaboration tool, and how to select the right database, user, and general settings. Riskier has developed the collaboration features of TrueCode to maximize efficiency and boost secure coding by enabling interactions between the development team and security experts. When software is assessed manually, and a vulnerability or a bug is located by a security expert, the time spent in pointing out and explaining the issue to the developer, fixing, reassessing, and reporting is huge, and it slows down the time to market of your product. And what happens when your codebase grows, as well as the chance that serious security vulnerabilities are introduced? Time spent on finding and fixing errors becomes costlier and even more important. Without a tool designed to prevent security vulnerabilities, quality will most likely decrease. With TrueCode, preventing security vulnerabilities becomes as smooth and efficient as possible. The simple and user-friendly interface guarantees a minimal amount of effort, and by configuring the right collaboration settings, the communication between the developer and the analysts becomes more seamless than ever. Let's see how easy it is to configure the settings in TrueCode. By clicking Settings in the menu bar, you can see that we have three types of settings: Codebase and Database settings, User Field settings, User Interface and General settings. Let's open the first one. You can see that there are two types of options. In the first one, we can choose if we want information panels when edits or settings are stored to the database, or we can configure panels when annotations or settings are removed from the database. The second refers to the storage of annotated code segments and code check reports. When annotations are stored in the database, the code segments which are highlighted by these annotations are also stored in this database, along with explanations and additional information of these findings. This helps in repositioning the annotation to the correct code segment, in case the initial one has been changed. However, due to IP protection, sometimes the storage of the code is undesired, so it can be changed simply by selecting the Excluded Code option and clicking to remove all code segments stored in the database so far. In the User Field settings, we can set our annotation ID. TrueCode can be configured to use your own selection, multi-selection, or text fields, or even hide some of the standard ones to be excluded from the Annotation Overview tab. In the Open Statuses for Dashboard section, we can select the parameters that characterize an open status when the dashboard is configured to show data for only open statuses. Lastly, in User Interface settings, we can choose the preferences related to the interface. We can generate an abstract syntax tree for indexing of functions and globals. When your codebase changes, the AST that TrueCode uses needs to be regenerated with the same option. For running automated code checks, TrueCode needs to compile your sources into LLVM intermediate language. To instruct TrueCode on how to compile the sources, you will see several settings for which the usage will be explained in other videos. We can also select the text editor for the description, the annotation color, and the font size settings. The character encoding, since we want the character encodings from TrueCode and the source code viewer to match one another. And lastly, the level of logging which appears in the Logging tab. In case we want to export logging to a file, we can also configure these extra settings. Additional settings can be configured in the File menu. For instance, by clicking in Select Database Files, we can set the database which will be used to store the annotations that are manually created. By default, this will be an SQLite database file and will be used by all the members of the team. The database to be used for annotations created by automated code checks. This will be a private file, and annotations in this database will be shared with the team after approving the annotations. And the optional database files for reviewed code and comment annotations. Lastly, we must define the extensions of the files in your codebase, which will be used by automated code checks. And select the codebase, which will make a file tree containing the source code. This file tree will be partly the same in the Eclipse project. By configuring all these settings we have mentioned so far, the user is ready to start using TrueCode. In our next video, we will go deeper in some practical techniques, and we will show you how to manage annotations.